The cancer conundrum: hope, hype, and high costs. A cancer diagnosis is a life-altering event. Advanced cancer treatments and new drugs often appear as beacons of possibility. Pharmaceutical companies present these innovations as breakthroughs, promising extended lives and improved quality of life. However, this beacon of hope often comes with an overwhelming price tag. The cost of new cancer drugs has skyrocketed over the past 2 decades. Many new therapies can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars per patient per year. The question then arises, are these incredibly expensive drugs delivering equally incredible results? Studies have shown that many new cancer drugs extend life by mere weeks or months, often accompanied by severe side effects. This essay will explore the complex landscape of cancer drug costs and their effectiveness. Ultimately, the goal is to empower patients with information and encourage a broader societal dialogue about how we can ensure that life-saving treatments are both innovative and accessible. The unrelenting climb charting the rise of cancer drug prices. The trajectory of cancer drug prices over the last 20 years paints a stark picture of escalating costs. In the early 2000s, a new cancer drug might have cost a few $1,000s per month. Now, it is not uncommon for treatments to exceed $20,000 or even $30,000 per month. This isn't a subtle increase, it's a dramatic surge that has outpaced inflation and the costs of other medical services.
Several factors contribute to this relentless upward trend in cancer drug pricing. Pharmaceutical companies often justify high prices by pointing to the extensive research and development costs.
Furthermore, the increasing sophistication of cancer treatments adds layers of complexity and cost.
However, critics argue that R&D costs alone do not fully account for the astronomical prices. The demand for cancer treatments is often inelastic. Patients facing life-threatening illnesses are typically willing to pay almost any price for a chance at survival. Decoding the dollar's innovation, investment, or inflated profits. Pharmaceutical companies emphasize the role of innovation when discussing the high cost of cancer drugs. They argue that the prices reflect the immense investment required to discover, develop, and bring to market novel therapies.
Many new treatments are not one-size-fits-all. They are targeted therapies designed to act on specific molecular pathways.
The promise is that these more precise treatments will be more effective and have fewer side effects. However, a growing chorus of critics questions whether these prices are always justified by the level of innovation or the clinical benefit provided. They point out that many new drugs are often variations of existing ones, offering only marginal improvements. The US system allows manufacturers to set their own prices, leading to situations where drugs cost significantly more than in other developed countries. Critics argue that the current system incentivizes the development of drugs that can secure patent protection and command high prices, even if their impact on overall survival or quality of life is limited. This raises difficult questions about whether the current financial incentives are truly aligned with the public health goal of achieving the most significant advancements in cancer care. Section 4. The efficacy question, measuring true value in weeks and months. While the development of new cancer drugs is often heralded as a triumph of modern medicine, a closer examination of their real-world effectiveness reveals a more complex picture.
The promise of extended life and improved well-being is the cornerstone of their appeal. Yet studies increasingly show that for many new expensive treatments, the actual gains can be disappointingly small. A significant study published in JAMA Oncology found that many cancer drugs approved by the US Food and Drug Administration demonstrate minimal or no discernible improvement in overall survival rates. When these drugs do extend life, the duration can often be measured in weeks or months rather than years. Many potent cancer therapies come with a litany of adverse effects, ranging from debilitating fatigue and nausea to more serious complications. The decision to pursue a treatment that offers a few extra months of life, but at the cost of considerable suffering, is a deeply personal and often agonizing one. The way clinical trials are designed and how their results are reported can also influence perceptions of drug efficacy. Sometimes trials might focus on surrogate endpoints, such as tumor shrinkage, rather than the more definitive endpoint of overall survival. Therefore, Understanding the true efficacy of a cancer drug requires looking beyond the marketing claims and initial headlines.
Section 5. Barriers to affordability, patents, politics, and pharmaceutical power. One of the most significant factors contributing to the sustained high prices of cancer drugs is the robust patent protection system.
When a pharmaceutical company develops a new drug, it is typically granted a patent, which provides exclusive rights to manufacture and sell that drug for a set period. This exclusivity prevents generic manufacturers from producing cheaper versions of the medication. Critics argue that the system is often exploited through strategies like patent thicketing to extend monopolies well beyond the initial period. The influence of the pharmaceutical industry on the political landscape also plays a crucial role in maintaining high drug prices. Pharma companies invest heavily in lobbying efforts to prevent legislation that could control drug prices. The lack of price regulation means that pharmaceutical companies have considerable latitude in setting launch prices for new cancer drugs and implementing subsequent price increases. This environment, shaped by strong patent protections and successful lobbying against price controls, creates a formidable barrier to making cancer drugs more affordable. Addressing the high cost of cancer drugs requires tackling these systemic issues of patent law and political influence.
Section 6. Global Insights: How Other Nations Navigate Cancer Drug Costs. While the United States grapples with some of the highest cancer drug prices in the world, many other developed nations have implemented effective measures to control costs and ensure broader access to essential medicines. These countries often employ a combination of strategies, including direct government negotiation of drug prices and rigorous health technology assessments. For example, countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia have national bodies that evaluate new drugs for their clinical effectiveness and cost-effectiveness before deciding whether they will be covered by the public health system and at what price. In many European countries, governments act as single payers or dominant purchasers of pharmaceuticals, allowing them to negotiate substantial discounts from manufacturers. Germany, for instance, allows companies to set an initial price for 1 year, after which a price is negotiated based on an assessment of the drug's added benefit. Similarly, France uses a committee to assess the medical benefit of new drugs, which then informs price negotiations. These international examples demonstrate that it is possible to foster pharmaceutical innovation while also ensuring that medicines are affordable and accessible. The success of these countries in controlling drug costs offers valuable lessons. Learning from these global best practices could pave the way for a more equitable system where life-saving cancer treatments are within reach for all who need them. Section 7. Empowering patients, advocating for fair prices and informed choices. The landscape of cancer treatment, with its high costs and variable effectiveness, can feel overwhelming for patients and their families. However, knowledge is power.
It is crucial for patients to become active participants in their care, asking detailed questions about treatment options, including the expected benefits, potential side effects, and the costs involved. Understanding the full picture allows for more informed decision-making. Patients should not hesitate to seek second opinions or discuss concerns about financial toxicity with their healthcare providers. Fortunately, some policy changes are beginning to offer a measure of relief. For instance, starting January 1st, 2025, a new provision from the Inflation Reduction Act will cap out-of-pocket prescription drug costs for older adults on Medicare at $2,000 per year. Beyond individual actions and recent policy wins, broader advocacy is essential to drive systemic change. By staying informed, exploring all available options, and supporting movements for equitable healthcare, we can work towards a future where hope is not overshadowed by an insurmountable price tag.